Hello, good evening and welcome to the United Stand. It is Skype Goldbridge. Hopefully we've got everything up and working. We never quite know with these live streams. And we are, which is great, fantastic. Get commenting. Skype Goldbridge is the Skype name. It's your show, it's your opportunity to basically come on, say what you want to say, give us your thoughts, etc, etc. But I want to just give you a couple of pointers as to things that I would like to be discussing tonight. One, I want to know what your biggest positive from Mourinho this season, what you think his best decision has been so far, and also what your worst thought is. So if you call in, you might get asked that. What do you think his best decision so far this season is? What do you think his worst decision so far this season is? I'm thinking about it today, and it's not so easy, but you know, it's your show. Come on and say what you want to think as well. I want to also talk about there's a big dilemma, I think, at Manchester United. One, we are awful at set pieces and corners. I'm going to pick this up tomorrow on our transfer show, but how do we solve that problem? Two, Michael Carrick, a big problem, a big elephant in the room. We know it's something on the horizon. How do you replace Michael Carrick? But yesterday, big game, you expect him to turn up. He didn't turn up. Whether it was tactical, whatever, he wasn't there. And again, no Carrick, no party. It's not even as simple as picking him now. If he's tactically nullified or doesn't have a good game, no Carrick, no party. How do we solve that problem? Should we be doing it in the next few weeks? So get commenting, give us your thoughts. I just want to say as well that a few people have been messaging me today saying, stop going on about Liverpool, it was a good point, etc, etc. I'm saying etc a lot tonight. You know what? I'm not going to apologise. I was brought up a bad loser by Sir Alex Ferguson and the United years. I'm a bad loser. It takes me 24 hours to get over something. I might have been ranty and fed up and grouchy last night that we lost to Liverpool, but that's because it matters. And there are fans like me who react like that. Some people, it's all about different opinion. It's all about different personalities in life. Some people are very calm, pragmatic. Some people are aggressive and overreact. Some people are just passionate and you know, can't see the wood for the trees. And I think that's where I fall into it. You know, Liverpool was a massive opportunity yesterday. It's gone now. We move on. We didn't lose the game. It felt like that to me. Just very disappointed that we didn't do what Manchester United can do. I don't think we gave a good account of ourselves yesterday. And you should never leave anything in life, whether it's interviews, whatever, asking a girl out, just never have any regrets. Put everything on the table, and then if you lose or they say no, at least you've got no regrets. And I think yesterday we let ourselves down, but I'm over it now. Positivity, we've got a lot to look forward to in this season. We're in all the cups, we're still in a race for top four, lots to be positive about, and everything is still in our hands. So let's go positive. Right, first call. Don't know what you're going to say. I'd love people to come on and have a rant. That's the point of the show, but whatever you've got to say, pick up on some of the things I've said as well if you want. Skype Goldbridge is the name. Connie N on the live comments is saying, I personally love your rants. I'm glad somebody does. Drop a like on the video, please, for everybody who's watching. This is Skype Goldbridge and this is your show to get calling. But at the moment, we don't seem to be having many people Skyping in. So I'll go to the comments. Louise O'Donoghue says, I hate our rivals criticising Paul Pogba after one bad game. He's been fantastic the last 2 months, which is true. Indy, whatever you want, says Mad Marcus. Lozano from Mexico went and scored a hat-trick his first game of the season, Mark. He's such a great player, says Cesar Zambrano. I would love us to sign him. Idris is calling in. Let's see what Idris has got to say. Idris, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Hello, mate. You all right?
Hi, Mark. How are you?
I'm very good, thanks. What was it you wanted to say, pal?
I've been trying to call for a long time now to get online with you. First of all, I want to go back and forth with you on Fellaini.
Okay.
I know your stance on Fellaini, right? And I think to some extent you almost make it personal rather than actually giving a good review on him.
Okay.
I know and the idea of United player, I think we had Sylvester in our team. In my opinion, he was horrible, but he played. And to some extent, there were games where he was very good. I think there is no team where you would say you will not have a Fellaini or Sylvester, or even to some extent a West Brown. West Brown was good for one great season anyway, but
I think you know what, I'm not even going to defend myself that much, because what I would say about Fellaini is this. Yesterday he helped us get a point from that game. I'm actually quite happy that we finally, after 3 years of signing Fellaini, and he's obviously part of Jose Mourinho's plans, that we actually are using him finally in the position that he should be used in, which is where he was most effective for Everton, which is basically off the striker in the opposition's penalty box. For too long we were using him as a midfielder, which he isn't, or a defensive midfielder, which is unbelievable. But in the last 10 minutes of a game, when you are chasing a goal, which we have been in the last 2 games, he's come on, he's scored a goal, and he's come on and he's got an assist. I wouldn't start him for Manchester United, but he's here to stay. And I think, you know what, I sort of agree with you. It has to stop. It has to stop. Funnily enough, I put the picture of Fellaini on my desk for the watch along yesterday. So you're not going to get any criticism. I'm not going to be a hypocrite and say that if we had 20 million offered tomorrow, I'd take it. I don't rate him as a Manchester United player in the sort of Manchester United team I want to see. But I'm not Jurgen Klopp. I'm not one of these idiots who goes around saying, "Oh, you can only win football by tiki-taka." I don't know what he wanted us to do yesterday. Carry on playing the same way.
That was very ignorant because I think tactically yesterday, Mourinho was superb. I get it. We tied the game, right? But when you look at it in the second half, how tactically he changed that game. I was saying Rashford. Like, I bet almost every United player was saying Rashford, right? But in my opinion, the way they defended, had we put in the banks that they set in front of the goal, had we put in Rashford, I think we would have lost that game.
Maybe.
I think Fellaini changed the whole game plan that they had, which was to defend that one goal.
They couldn't deal with that. That's why Klopp was moaning, because they don't. And I thought the stupid thing about Klopp was that he's basically let the rest of the Premier League know that they can't defend the long ball, because he's like, they couldn't defend it, and they couldn't.
That was very ignorant.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
I know you've defended Fellaini there. I respect you for that, Idris. But if I was to ask you, what is the biggest mistake you think Jose Mourinho's made this season, if any? What would it be? What do you think?
I think there was another program I called in one day. I talked about Paul Pogba. I think the biggest mistake we did not actually sign a proper defensive midfielder, and I think that could be the reason we're actually losing the league. Because in my opinion, I think our defense, I've always said it, like our defenders would be good if they have a Roy Keane in front of them. I really think they have enough potential, but just proper nurturing that they needed. Now, if we did have a Roy Keane in front of the defense we have today, I think we will be the best defense in the league. And I believe Pogba will be a superb player than he is now. Because what Pogba is, if you look at him tactically, he's not a defensive star. He can't. I don't think he's great at defending. No. But he's great when he have the ball. And you can tell for a long time we've not had a midfielder like him, because he's very innovative. If you see some of the passes he makes, I know Paul Scholes, but I think he's more dynamic than Paul Scholes. Paul Scholes is more wise than him by far, but I think he would eventually be more dynamic than Paul Scholes. And when you look at him, you need a Roy Keane next to him. So if you look what we have in today, Carrick would carry the mantle for the season, hopefully, not barring injuries. But I think we do need to start to look at, we buy Kante, we would be winning the league.
Interesting points. I think you've made some very good points there, Idris. Where are you calling from, pal?
I'm calling from New Jersey, United States.
Great.
And if you think about the best decision he has made, in my opinion, I think it's getting Pogba. Because
it's going to be.
I don't know if. Yeah, I think he's gonna be world class, and he's gonna be worth every single penny we spent. And people think about the money like, 89 million is that big. No, it's not. United make crazy money, and they're gonna make even more with Pogba in the team. Trust me, it's too marketable for what we paid. Okay. United is gonna make that money.
I've got to get somebody else on, Idris, because but you have it's whizzed by because you've spoken so much sense. But thanks for calling. Really good call to open the show.
All right.
Thanks, pal. really good. I could have just kept him on for ages. Maybe people at home think I should have done, but I've got to try and get other people on. What I just wanted to comment on about Pogba there, Idris is totally right, and as was Louise. I don't really understand why people are getting on his back at all. He was very, very poor yesterday, but he's 23 years of age. I think his range of passing can be like Scholes, but Scholes was streets ahead. But Scholes was playing for another 13 years after 23. Scholes at 23 probably wasn't as good as Pogba is at 23. I think we need to remember that. And also, Pogba needs to be taken aside by Mourinho, who, trust me, is a far better tactician than me, you, or anybody else. But it's obvious to me, and it's probably obvious to you. Pogba's holds onto the ball too long, and Klopp, you know, people are calling him a genius today. I could have told Liverpool what to do with Pogba yesterday. Press him and you'll nick the ball off him every time because he holds onto the ball too long. And you watched the game back yesterday. What he should have been doing is having a leader next to him saying, Paul, I know you're a great player, but they're pressing you with 2 or 3 players. As soon as you get it, unless you've got loads of space, find a pass quickly because you're getting pressed and you're losing possession of the ball. That's what happened yesterday, but that's what happens with young players. Let's take another phone call from the Skype Goldbridge call box. Right, Ash, you're on. Ash, can you hear me?
Hello, mate. How are we?
I'm very good. How are you, pal?
Yeah, good. Thanks, mate.
Good. What was it you wanted to say?
Yeah, well, just one. I think 1 point. I think I saw the title of this as Mourinho's best and worst decisions. Am I right?
Yeah. Fire ahead. Yeah, brilliant.
Yeah. Well, I wanted to sort of steer away from the sort of Pogba debate because I knew that was going to be quite prominent in this episode. But I wanted to really concentrate on youth, not so much as Mourinho doesn't play youth and that sort of the feeling that we've had. But what do you think then, or who from the current crop of youngsters that we have, do you think could have a future in the first team of Manchester United?
Well, I don't know where you're going with this because I think I'm not surprised. A few people might say that his biggest mistake this year has not been using the youth enough because I would agree with that. But I do think Twantibi's good enough. But until he starts playing in the first team, it's a jump into the unknown. I think Rashford's very ready and hasn't been played enough. And I think Fosu Mensah has proved himself to be ready and doesn't get on the bench. So, yeah, I think Rashford is an established first teamer in a way, but I'd like to have seen him play more. But the Fosu Mensah one's the one that disappoints me. I don't know about you.
Yeah. I mean, I think we've all been disappointed at the lack of minutes Fosu Mensah's had because when he has come on, he has shown that he's capable. Technically he's fantastic and he's an unbelievable athlete as well. And I've been disappointed that he hasn't had more minutes. I'm really sort of I've been watching a few minutes of Andreas Pereira as well on loan, and he's been playing really well. And I think, next year, with a couple more signings, maybe a little bit of a tweak of the squad, do you think that Pereira could get a few minutes in the first team next year?
Well, I'm a massive Pereira fan. I think he's ready as well. And I think, to be honest, the loan move has done him good. I said a couple of weeks ago, and I don't know what you think about this, that I think Fosu Mensah's not even getting on the bench. Why aren't we loan? I mean, what do you think? I think loan him, and people are like, "Oh, you can't do that." I even was saying about Rashford, but he is being used more now. But these lads are ready, and if they're only going to be training with Manchester United all week, you may as well give him a membership pack and let him have a photo with Zlatan. They need to play football.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, and you look just down the line. You look at the best players who've come from Manchester United academy. The majority of them have gone out on loan. Your Beckhams, you things that players like this, and they've really benefited from a loan spell. So yeah, I mean, get Fosu Mensah off to a decent side in the Premier League, and I think it'll do him the world of good.
Somebody just said that is so would that be your worst decision? Because somebody in there has just made a very good point as well that his best decision was dropping Rooney.
Yeah. I mean, I think it comes into both categories. I think yes, possibly one of his worst decisions is not playing more of the youth. But as you rightly said, if they go on loan, they gain the experience, they come back the next season in an even better player. That could be one of his best decisions. So I think it plays into both categories that we've mentioned. And as you said, I hope more of the youngsters get to go out on loan or get some minutes either in the under-21s or the first team, either in the cups or whatever. But yeah, I'd like to see the more youth being brought through maybe and just given a chance.
I was going to ask you one thing. I'm going to ask you something else because I think you'd be quite good at this. Michael Carrick yesterday. Where do you stand on it? Do you think Liverpool tactically nullified him and that's why he was taken off, or do you think he just had a bad game? I was thinking about it a bit today. I've not made my mind up, but I was just thinking, whichever it is, the worrying thing is that it's not as simple as picking Carrick now. He's 35. he is going to, whether it was tactical or not yesterday, and I hope it was tactical and he still is the player we want him to be, but at some point he is going to start to have bad games. Yep. And it's becoming very immediate how we solve that problem, because we're still very much in that boat. No Carrick, no party. And people will say, well, he started yesterday, but that wasn't Michael Carrick.
No. I think, as you rightly said, I think it was tactical. I mean, we've seen this Liverpool side all season, that high pressing game, getting at the central midfielders, and I think it's a bit of both. I think everyone on that pitch had a bad game yesterday. I don't think there was maybe one or two above sort of 7, 8 out of 10. So I think it was purely tactical. But as you rightly said, he is getting on. He's 35. And, we've seen, look at the stats of the comparisons of this season, the percentage of wins we've had with him in the team and without. He is such a pivotal figure for us in the middle of the park. And I think we can talk about these dynamic midfielders and these box-to-box players as much as we like. But with that Carrick, with a Carrick type of player there sitting in front of that back four, and you don't see Carrick making, these sprinting runs into the box looking to get on the end of headers. He's just tidying things up. He's just nice and composed and calculated, and I think we need a player of that caliber. Either, looking at the future, is it going to be Daley Blind? Probably not. You're looking at your Cruz, maybe Khedira, that sort of type of player who's not particularly, very athletic, but they're so intelligent and they're really composed. I think that sort of midfield is what we need.
Exactly. I mean, I said it a few weeks ago. I used to play a bit of centre-back sweeper role, and to be honest, I would hate to play against Michael Carrick, because even though he's 50 yards away from me, he's one of the only players in the Premier League who, most Jordan Henderson's, I mean, why everyone goes on about him, but he's a 5-yard crab passer. The trouble with Carrick is he can hit a 40-yard pass in a second to a centre-forward, and that's horrible. And not many people can do it. And I mean, I was trying to get them on the show tonight, slagging Ander Herrera off yesterday, saying he's just, people like him just because he's all effort and everything. But I would agree that he can't do that sort of passing, but who can? Who can? Definitely a difficult one. But thanks for calling in, Ash. Podcast.
Yeah, podcast is still going. Get downloading. I know you tweeted off the main account, numerous times a week, so get downloading. And I'd like to also say thank you very much personally to Marcus for inviting me on. He did ask me to say, so thank you, Marcus, for inviting me on this evening.
No worries. And do download the podcast. It's on the United Stand website, theunitedstand.com. Thanks, Ash.
Marvellous. Cheers, Mark.
Cheers, pal. Mad Marcus thinks he's the producer of this show, but getting ideas above his station. I'm only joking. Liverpool pressed the life out of him, says VK Dean. Kroos wants to leave Madrid, says Davo K. Well, Tony Kroos is the natural heir to to Michael Carrick. I'd agree with that. I just don't think that deal can be done. George Kyle saying, no, Carrick had a bad game. Carrick had a bad game. But you know what? What I love about the press, not the media, I don't like them, but the press, the pressing style of play, whether it's Barcelona, whether it's Liverpool yesterday, and they think it's some sort of genius, purist football. You know what? When you think about it, it's actually the most basic, amateurish style of football there is going. It's almost as bad as long ball. Because you know what the press is? It's when you used to play football as a 5-year-old and everyone chases after the ball and there's no positional. And that's what Liverpool did yesterday. It was we were very naive, and I said this last night because we talked about it in the preview. So those who watched the preview, you know I talked about it, and you know you were all talking about it in the live comments. The way to win that game was to get the ball to Martial. They're terrified of him. Then give a quick pass to Pogba, 40-yard pass over to the right, and like rugby, they're all on the Martial side, and you've got them. We just didn't switch the ball. We didn't move the ball quick enough, and we didn't switch the ball quick enough at all. But it made me laugh every time Anthony Martial got the ball. Klopp's there saying that young right back had the best game of his life. They could have played me at right back in my mid-30s yesterday, and I would have had man of the match performance because I would have been protected by 5 or 6 Liverpool players. There was times when Anthony Martial had 4 or 5 players on him. Well, if you're playing right back, you're going to have a good game, aren't you? Taking another call. Let's have a look. Let's have a little look. Kyle, can you hear me?
Yeah, I could hear you. Could you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you perfectly, mate. What do you want to say?
All right. Well, Mourinho obviously doesn't like Shaw. He has a problem with him. And Blind is shaky sometimes at left back because he's not naturally fit for there. I think everyone's forgetting about Cameron Borthwick-Jackson, who's on loan at Wolves. And he wasn't started under Zanger. He's not even being started now. So, I don't know if Mourinho ever looked at him. I think he's a good player to bring out left back.
Sorry, mate. You just got a little bit muffled there at the end.
All right.
No, that's better now. sorry, I'll just clarify to everyone else. We're
fine.
talking Shaw and Blind and left back, which I love. I'd forgotten all about that, so that's great. But you like Cameron Borthwick-Jackson?
Yeah, I think he could put in a really good cross because Darmian, he has one good cross out of 10. So I don't think he's a natural left back. I think he can get skinned way too easily. And we even saw last year against, I think it was against Chelsea, put that cross in to Rooney, he controlled it down, and Rooney took it high long. So, I mean, he could put a natural good cross. I think he's not playing now, so we need to loan him out somewhere else or call him. And
You've got muffled again.
Oh.
It's like when I talk, it suddenly goes clear, and then as the longer you talk, it goes muffled.
I'll try to talk slower.
I'll talk for a moment. Luke Shaw, I don't get it. I'll ask you about that. I don't know what your thoughts are on Luke Shaw and his future at Manchester United. Daley Blind, I don't get it. Why he's not playing? If Shaw's not fit, play Blind. Darmian, people were saying he played well yesterday. He's a defensive right back playing at left back. That's your problem. Whether he doesn't make 10 mistakes and cost us goals, it doesn't matter. He's still, even him playing well, he's still a defensive right back playing at left back, and that is the problem. Luke Shaw bombs forward. Daley Blind's got a wand of a left foot. Cameron Borthwick-Jackson played well last year. So, what do you think the solution is at left back in Mourinho's mind? What do you think he's planning? Because I'm not too sure.
Yeah, I'm not too sure either because I know he's not going to use Cameron Borthwick-Jackson, and if he's not going to fix the issue with Shaw, whatever he doesn't like with him, he's obviously not going to use him. But when we talk about the biggest mistake, the two bad months when we had the run of games that we were drawing and losing, is not
I've lost you again. I don't know what it is. You just keep flying off. I think what I'll do is I'll just jump in every sentence and go, boom, we'll go on, carry on.
So yeah, European competition definitely is killing us this season. I agree with that.
Yes.
So yeah. So now that's going to start picking back up. I don't think top four is it's a risky situation right now with Europa League coming back up. We have the young players that you could be playing in there. That's obviously not going to happen. Zlatan's going to be playing every game, and I know he says he wants to play every game, but his body is going to start wearing down eventually.
It's gone again, mate. I'm really, really sorry.
That's fine.
It's all right. Where are you calling from anyway?
The United States.
United States. I don't know what that is. It's like when I talk and I'll come back to you, it's perfectly clear for about 10, 20 seconds, and then it gradually goes as if... But
all right. I appreciate it, though.
I'll take a note of your name, Kyle. If you can sort that out, we'll get you on again. I'm going to do this Wednesday night as well.
That's fine. Thanks.
Cheers, pal. Thank you. That's a shame because he was making really good points. Then what was wrong with the audio there? Gary Paul says Mourinho is past it. And biggest mistake is Schweinsteiger. Could have taken the pressure off Carrick, says VK Dean. Memphis would be a top player, needs sorting out. I wouldn't sell him, says Chris Smith. You're mental if you think Mourinho is past it, says Kevin Leon. And Mike Lilly makes a very good point. It would have been easy yesterday, just move the ball quicker. Yeah, there's no masterclass from Liverpool yesterday. You know, at the end of the day, I don't really want to get into the Liverpool United thing. We went to their place and drew. They came to our place and drew. It's even Stevens, stalemate, and nobody gets the bragging rights apart from where we finish in May and if we play them in the League Cup, and I bloody hope we do, because I think we let them off the hook yesterday. They threw everything at us at Anfield and we parked the bus, but we let them off the hook yesterday because we didn't move the ball quick enough. And as I said at the start of the video, that's what bothers me about it. There's regrets from the game because we didn't give a good account of ourselves and we didn't move the ball quick enough. You know, we've dropped points at home this season against Arsenal, West Ham, Stoke, Burnley, but we played really well and we didn't put the ball in the back of the net. Yesterday we didn't, and I also wish Pogba had missed that one-on-one at the start of the game because it would have been a totally different story. Lots of good callers so far. Please take the time to just like the video for everybody who is calling in, because you dictate this show, Skype Goldridge, and it works, and we can't do it without you lot getting involved and liking the video. So let's try Spencer. Can you hear me? Hello, Spencer?
Yep, can you hear me?
Yep, perfectly well, mate. What was it you wanted to say?
Well, I guess I just wanted to say I'm disappointed with yesterday. I am. I mean, just the run up that we've been having, and I know that the run we've been having has been against, you know, smaller teams in the league and whatnot, but we've been performing pretty damn well. And I mean, I guess the biggest point out from yesterday, from my point of view, is I don't for that press. I think when they went out there and as soon as Liverpool started pressing like they were, I think some of the players had their mindset on how Liverpool was playing in their last couple games. You know, their form's been a little shaggy and whatnot, and I just don't think they were ready whatsoever. And I think it was pretty poor. You know, you got to go out there, especially Liverpool. They've been doing this press all season. It's Klopp's way of playing. You know, and every single one of them looked shell-shocked, honestly, from the beginning. And, I mean, they were just shit on the ball. And, I mean, there really wasn't too many good players out there that you could say had a good performance, you know?
No, I'd agree. If you could just speak up a bit, Spencer, when I come back to you. But no, I totally agree with that. I think we really let them off the hook, and I just don't know why we didn't. You know, it wasn't a shock to me how Liverpool played, and I don't think it was a shock to you or any other fan. We knew they were going to do that, and I just thought we just you know, there was times in the first 20 minutes, so it's not about energy, where we weren't pressing their keeper, even though they're like City, they pass out from the back, and we were letting them pass out from the back, pass along the back four. It was definitely elements of it that were tactical, and I just thought, you know, Mourinho's told the crowd that he wants them to be up for this game. They're bubbling up for the game, and then the first 20 minutes we don't light them up. We just let them, you know, go down to a simmer, and then, you know, lukewarm.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, I've been a fan probably since, I don't know, probably 2006, since I was younger, and so the form we've been having, I mean, it's,
The reason
you know,
we're doing
it's
this
got to
is
be
because
pretty damn
we
exciting.
as fans,
And I'm sure as many fans that back knew during the Sir Alex Ferguson times, I'm sure now it's getting all those fans excited because, you know, it's coming back to some times that we're used to seeing. And yeah, it just really let me down. It really did. And yeah, to go on what other people have been saying and what you've been saying, I don't know what he's doing with Darmian or at left back. It's ridiculous. Darmian's obviously a right back and obviously a defending right back. He's not an attacking, you know, defender whatsoever, and it's ridiculous. The way we've been playing, you know, with Martial and Mkhitaryan up there, it's obvious that we need support over there. With them, especially yesterday, it was obvious we needed support. And one other thing I wanted to point out, you know, I played soccer for many years, football. Sorry, you know, I'm American, and I played for many years, and I understand most of the passing you're going to have is backwards and sideways. But once you pass it backwards and sideways, you know, I think they should be smart enough to see that there's obviously 3 open guys ahead of you. If not 3 open guys ahead of you, then a long ball to be switched. Valencia, just that pissed me off so much yesterday. Valencia's wide open the whole entire game, and not a single damn person wanted to pass it to him. It's shit like that just really pisses me off compared to what we've been doing, you know?
Yeah, I agree. Thanks, Spencer. I'm going to get another call on, but I don't know what's wrong with the sound. I think you're fading off as well, but I think it might be something to do with my internet. But really good points, and please do call in again.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks a lot for having me.
Cheers. I don't know whether you could hear that bit at the end, but he was talking about the Valencia thing, which again is another very, very good observation, because we weren't switching the ball to Valencia enough. We really weren't. There was opportunities to switch the play. Again, you know what? We can't. It's in the past, but we let Liverpool off the hook, and they'll think they were unlucky not to get a result. I don't know what game they're on about. Neve, the subscriber count is above my finger there. That's a live subscriber count. So if you've not subscribed to the United Stand, please do subscribe. That number will go up. A lot of people have been unsubscribed, so do just check that you are subscribed, because YouTube keeps doing this sort of thing. And if you are subscribed, make sure you hit the bell, because then you'll get to know when we do live shows. And actually, most of our shows are live, so that's a good thing to know about. And make sure that you watch all our shows. We're live at 8:30 every night this week. We'll obviously be live for the watch along for the Stoke game on the weekend. Sunday night live at 8:30. And at the moment, I am still doing transfer shows every morning, although I'm thinking about stopping it, because the Manchester United seem very reluctant to jump into the transfer window, which is one thing I would throw to you lot. Should we be in the transfer window? Should we be doing stuff? And I've got a little prize for you all at the end, so keep calling, keep getting involved. But let's try Vincent. Vincent, can you hear me?
Hello?
Can't hear him. I'm struggling. I don't know what's wrong tonight. It's bloody frustrating. Okay, that's better. Right, let's have a look at Michael. Let's try Michael. Michael, can you hear me?
Give me one sec. Yeah, how you doing, Mark?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
Yeah, a bit gutted about the game, but it's said to us that, well, I think we can just rule out the title. That's gone. Let's come to terms with that. Move on. Let's go for the top four. I think let's not worry about the Europa League. I think we've kind of used that incorrectly, and I think the top four is really the target because it's really for the taking now. And then I'd like to try and work with a pecking order in the midfield. It's obvious that Carrick, Pogba is the midfield, but I've also considered that Fellaini is going to be in the team. So with him, I want Fossey Mensah to get up there. I'd like him to be fourth. So I'd like to get rid of Schweinsteiger. Really. I think we got him at the wrong time, and I think the Premier League's just too quick and physical for him now. Then it would have been great to get him in his 20s, but I don't think this is the time to have him. I'd like Rooney to go. I'd like him to get the record and just think about the MLS. I can picture him getting really fat, and I think he's done a great service for us. But I think his time is really coming to an end. I think Mata, Mkhitaryan, I think we can get some more exciting attacking players now. So I'd like to see him leave in the next couple of years. I'd really like to get a right winger. I think desperate for a centre back. Jones and Rojo are really hanging on. Rojo I'd keep at the team just for his cover at best. I mean, Smalling as well. The only real advantage to him is that he seems to wear the captain's armband when Rooney and Carrick aren't in the team. So I guess I'd keep him as cover just for that. Darmian's useless. I want him to go. I really don't like him. I think Blynn's great, but I think we need another left back because I don't have the same kind of faith that we'll get Shaw to kind of emerge in the same way that Mkhitaryan has done from being out of the team. And I think we need someone in like Bakayoko, some sort of defensive midfielder, just to knock Fellaini down the pecking order. If we're going to have him in the squad, I just want him knocked down the pecking order. So just need someone else to do that. It's coming for that, I
think. There's a lot of negative points in there, which is fine. But if I was to ask you what's the biggest positive from Jose Mourinho and what he's done at Manchester United this season for you, what would that be?
It's nothing like Van Gaal anymore. It's just much more. It's more exciting. I think the signings have been easily the best signing of the four. And that's saying a lot as well, but I think that he just gives me so much more security as a Manchester United supporter watching us play games. When he's in the team, I don't worry about our defence as much. Pogba is a bit hit and miss, but I think he will get better. Zlatan as well can be a bit hit and miss, but they both do deliver when they do. Mkhitaryan's obviously very exciting as well, so I've got to give him credit for that. He's got the pulling power, so I think I look forward to next season because he'll just pull more really top quality players, and we won't have the Schneiderlins and Fellaini's that we've had in the last few years.
Great. Where are you calling from, Michael?
London, but I'm from Aberdeen.
I think you've been on before, haven't you? Yeah.
Yeah, I've been on before.
Thanks very much for calling. Good points, and please do call in again.
Thanks, Mark. Cheers.
Cheers, Michael. And I appreciate we've had problems with the sound tonight, and it has been a bit laggy. What can I do? It's the way it is, and it's that time of night, unfortunately, where husbands are getting away from their wives and wives are getting away from their husbands, and they're on the phones and stuff like that. So there's a spike at this time of night. That's the bad side of doing it, and there we go. But can we still get top four, says Deadpool Universe? Of course we can. Can we still... Pogba dabbed in the box, says Yusuf. Mickey needed time to settle, says Brew FM, which is a fair point. Let's take... now, Marcus has asked me to do this call, so I don't know about the quality of it, but I'll take it. Paul, can you hear me?
I certainly can, Mark. Can you hear me?
Yeah, perfectly. Very good audio, as per usual. What was it you wanted to talk about, Paul?
I thought I would just talk a little bit about this Carrick dilemma. I don't really think it's much of a dilemma as people are making it out to be. Not to say that he hasn't been crucial for us in the time that he's been here, but you think about it, we were great before Carrick, we'll be great again after Carrick. Now, I know that sounds bad. It makes it sound like I'm saying, Carrick's just average, we'll be okay without him. That's not what I'm saying. He has been fantastic, and as you always say, no Carrick, no party. But Mourinho is already planning ahead. He already knows what's going to happen after Michael Carrick. He already knows what sort of player he wants to bring in. One thing we will lose is that vision that Carrick possesses, that vision to pick out a pass. Like we've seen a couple of weeks ago when Rashford scored that goal, Carrick picked out that pass from his own half, straight to Rashford's feet. That we'll probably miss. You won't see that as much. But when Mourinho brings in a replacement, as the last caller just said, Bakayoko, that type of player, fantastic defensively, strong. He's been compared to Pogba, or he would complement Pogba. He's the sort of player that's got the strength to defend very well, but he can also bring the ball out quick. He can turn a defensive situation into an attacking situation very quickly. So where he might not possess that vision to play a long ball forward, he will bring the ball out quickly and pick out a pass to one of the wingers or play it through the middle. So I don't think we need to worry too much about losing Carrick. Yes, it will be a great loss, and we're going to miss him and what he brings to the squad. But Mourinho will work around that, bring in a different player, a different profile, his profile, and build a team to suit that, and bring in players or change or adapt the system to suit that. So I don't think it's as big a dilemma as we think it is. I'm not worried. We'll miss him, and I love the bloke, Carrick, but I think we don't need to worry. Mourinho knows what he's doing. He's one step ahead of all of us. We can be footballing Einsteins, but he is one step ahead of everyone, and he'll have something in place.
You see, I think, and it's not about my opinion tonight, but my biggest mistake that I think that Mourinho's made all season was how he's handled Carrick. People forget that we didn't start playing Carrick consistently in the league until the start of November. That's 2.5 months into the season, and we know how many bad results we'd had before that. I think he should have had a better idea of the United squad and how important Carrick is, and he should have had a better idea of a replacement, because over the season we've played Fellaini as a defensive midfielder, we've had Rooney playing in the midfield, and neither of those are the solution. So I think where we've lost the league this year is the points that we dropped, obviously at home, but the ignorance of Carrick was a mistake, and I don't really understand why that is. But I agree with you. I don't think Carrick replacement is the issue. I think it's evolution of Manchester United is the issue, and because Bakayoko is not a replacement for Carrick, Verratti's not really a replacement for Carrick. Matuidi's not a replacement for Carrick.
This is what I'm saying. We won't get that replacement for Carrick. The Carrick's one of a kind footballer, but he'll bring in someone of a different profile, and we'll work around that. So we're not going to get a replacement for Carrick. That's a given.
Yeah, I mean, live forever. LG just says there, replace Carrick ? United don't replace players. Keane, Scholes, Ronaldo, just a few. You don't replace them like for like. You do something a little bit different.
Exactly. Players like that are one of a kind.
And what would you think is, just out of interest, what do you think Mourinho's biggest mistake has been this season, if you had to name something?
Biggest mistake? It's a hard one. Because I seen your tweet earlier about thinking of what you think is his biggest mistake and what you think is his biggest positive. Now, the positive for me, I'll come back to the mistake in a minute, but the positive for me is definitely giving us our Man United back. There were times last season, don't get me wrong, I always look forward to watching Man United, but there were times under Van Gaal, under Moyes, where before a game would start, I wouldn't be overly excited by it, because I kind of know what to expect. But now, I get nervous again, you feel the nerves, I start biting my nails, I don't know what to expect from the game, I think, I'm looking forward to it. That game against Liverpool yesterday, I was really excited for it, but it's having that feeling back again, and being confident you're going to see a good game of football, you're going to see attacking football. So bringing that aspect of our game back to us is probably the best thing he's done for us. Biggest mistake, probably waiting so long to bring in Mkhitaryan. But in the same breath that I say that, I've always thought to myself, he's done that for a reason. We look at Mkhitaryan earlier on in the season, he was getting bullied around left, right and centre. He wasn't ready for it. So I think Mourinho did the right thing to keep him out. You know, don't knock his confidence too much. Don't kick him while he's down. Let him build himself up. You know, give him a couple of games here and there, see what happens, and it's paid dividends.
Yeah, no, very good. Thanks for calling in, Paul. I know it's a bit laggy at my end. I don't know why this is happening, but good calls. And again, with Ash off the podcast, so get hold of that on theunitedstand.com and download it. Anything else you want to add, Paul?
That, obviously, yeah, download the podcast, go to the website, unitedstand.com. There's a link to podcasts at the top. Click on that. You get every episode. You can download them straight from the site. Leave comments. That's a big thing. We want to know what you think of it. Leave comments on the pages. Get download, subscribe. There's subscribe links there as well. And thanks to Marcus for inviting me on this evening.
Okay.
Good lad. Anyway, thanks everyone for listening.
Thanks, Paul.
I'll see you later.
I don't know who Marcus thinks he is, going around inviting people on the show. Skype Goldbridge Marcus is for people to Skype in. I love Paul, I love Ash, very good points, but you're going to make yourself very unpopular moderator when you are scripting Skype Goldbridge by inviting people on. But Darth Vader said, did Carrick even play in the United Champions League final against Chelsea? Wash your mouth out with soap. Of course he played. Come on, know your club. I'm only joking. If you don't know it, you might be 5. In which case you weren't even born. But yeah, of course he did. Of course he did. I know exactly what's causing the lag. It's quite clearly Skype. Don't worry, I'm looking for a solution because, as you will know, I very rarely put the image up. That's because people don't put their image up when they Skype now. But Skype uses a lot of power, and that causes the lag. So I'm looking at other solutions as to how we can find a way around that. But let's try another caller. Mad Marcus, it's not scripting. Of course it's scripting when you're telling people to come on. It's meant to be natural. Danny Milner, can you hear me?
Hello, how are you?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
Good. I just wanted to come on and say I was disappointed with the performance yesterday. And I thought Pogba wasn't in the correct headspace.
Okay, that is an interesting point. Why do you think that is? Publicity, media, the way he's always changing his haircut?
Because I saw the signage all around the pitch yesterday. Why are we doing it with Pogba and not with anybody else?
Well, he's Adidas's bellboy, isn't he? You know, I totally agree with you. I think getting an emoji out and doing your hair like that, it's all fine and well if you play well, but if you have a bad game, you've got to take the bad side of it. And, you know, without doubt, Pogba had a bad game yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, dabbing in the box, what was that?
Yeah. What do you think that Jose Mourinho's biggest mistake has been this season?
Biggest mistake, I want to say, was selling Snyderland. I think he would have... Yeah, I think he would have been better if we put him on loan and then got him back in a couple more seasons. He'll be fantastic.
Okay, and what do you think his best decision has been this season?
I reckon getting the god of Manchester, Ibrahimovic.
Oh yeah.
Best thing he could have done.
Yeah, no, he has been a revelation. I'm a massive fan of his. I know he missed a lot of chances in the games that we dropped points in, but he's also, yesterday scoring. He scored some really important goals. And also, in relation to left back, what do you think the solution is there? Do you think Luke Shaw should be playing? Are you happy with Darmian? Should we sign somebody else? Should it be Daley Blind?
I just think we need to sign somebody that's attacker-minded. So not afraid to go up and then drop.
So Luke Shaw, maybe?
Yeah, Luke Shaw. Yes. Okay,
Danny, where are you calling from?
New Zealand.
I thought you were over that side. What time is it there at the moment?
It is 10 o'clock in the morning.
Okay. Well, thanks very much for calling, Danny, and please do call in again.
No problem, Mark.
Cheers, pal. we've got massive problems with Skype tonight. It is absolutely as soon as I take a call, everything's going out of sync. So I'm just going to close it and start it up again. And then while I do that, we can have a look on the live comments to see what people have got to say. Anonymous Gaming says, Mark, try and get a United ex-player soon. You do realise that Stan Collymore, when he comes on the show, he comes on because he just likes talking about football and he does it for free. And you do realise that we even contacted an ex-Manchester United player who was only here for a couple of years, Northern Irish. We sold him to Newcastle. Not even a Manchester, not anybody of any note. And you're talking 4 figures to come on and do a show. That's why there's no Manchester United ex-players on here, because most ex-players, it's all about that, and they won't get out of bed for that. So yeah, the door's open, but Manchester United, the United Stand is a fan content channel. We do this out of our own time. You Skype in off your own time. You watch the shows out of your own time. Stan Collymore came on out of his own time. If you want to come, if you love football so much, come and talk with football fans in your own time. But you're not getting paid for it. I'll make a stance out of that. Even if I had 50 quid in my pocket, I'd rather buy a Manchester United shirt, and like we have done in the past, and do it as a giveaway than pay a player to come on and talk about football, because I don't actually respect a lot of players' opinions like you lot. I don't think it's any better just because you played the game. Absolute nonsense. So that is why I'm not ranting about that. That's just a total and utter thing, and that's why, to be honest, that's part of the reason the United Stand exists. That's why we started it, because I believe in fan opinion. I think it's as good as any opinion you can get in football. In many ways it's better, and that's what the United Stand is. It's always fan opinion. Anybody's welcome on the show. That's always been the case, but we're not paying people to come on. That is just ridiculous. Spondangler, you've got it in one. Mad Marcus, where are you from? Says Jordan Thompson. Both sides are so hugely overrated. Okay, get commenting. Johan Hash says, I've been calling for a while. Can you answer? Not at the moment, because Skype is just uploading. Jose's worst decision was not punching Conte at Stamford Bridge, says Brad McNamee. Okay, that's a good point. While I'm just updating Skype and hoping it's going to work, Sporting Film is done. I will be back on in a minute. Just for the next couple of minutes, get commenting. What's your best? What's the best thing you think Mourinho's done this season? What's the worst thing you think Mourinho's done this season? And it can be funny stuff like not punching Conte, because I quite like that. Samuel Roos says you'll never win the league. The thing is, Samuel, you cannot have you've not told us what club you support, but whatever club you support, you cannot come onto a Manchester United fan channel and say you'll never win the league, because there is no club in England that even comes close to our league record, which is still in the last 3 years. So if you're an Arsenal fan, it's a decade. If you're a Liverpool fan, your gran wasn't even born. If you're a City fan, you didn't exist 10 years ago. If you're a Chelsea fan, you've done okay, but you've bought it. If you're a Spurs fan, you've never won it. There is no club that you can actually come and give us the bants on. So think before you type. Worst thing is Bastion, says Mad Marcus. Not using him, I suppose. AWS says playing Fellaini is the best thing he's done. Jordan Curley's enjoying his birthday, of course. Jordan, we said yesterday, it is your birthday. Happy birthday. Daniel Wright, Liverpool fans talking about Pogba. Of course they are, everybody is. Let's get in young talent to replace Ashley Young, says Peter. Best thing he's done is coming to United, says Chris Smith. Best thing is getting sent to the stands all the time for stupid stuff, says Beck Howell. Best thing, playing the United way. Worst thing, not playing Carrick from the start, says Rude 9 the Master. That's mine. I think we forget that Carrick was ignored till November, and I don't understand why that was. Miracle Ognami says dropping Wayne Rooney. Whether that's the best or the worst, I don't know. Best Pogba, worst Fellaini hug made me sick. Brad McNamee with another good one there. King Dago 10 says playing Fellaini. I don't know whether that's the good or the bad. Worst is not sorting out our CDM, says Brew FM. No, he didn't. Abik says it. Brew FM says I remember when Liverpool won it in 90. I'm that old. Best thing is improving playing style, and worst thing is not using youth and certain players, says Jordan Thompson, which I think is a fair thing. Miracle says worst thing's not buying Joe Barton. Mark, do you respect Liverpool? No, Jordan Thompson. I suppose I do. I mean, Liverpool are the closest thing to Manchester United, and if you dig below their hate, and it takes a long time, I think if you dig below any decent Liverpool fan and any decent Manchester United fan, and I hold myself up as a decent fan as much as I go over the top because I'm a passionate person and it takes me a while. I'm still disappointed about Liverpool, and I'm still arguing with Liverpool on Twitter, but they're the closest thing to Manchester United. They've got a history at least, but the reason we hate each other is because we are very close to each other in relation to what we want to be, what we aspire to be, history, etc. So we hate each other more than we hate any other club, but actually there is a respect there. We probably just don't want to admit it. Best is easy bringing back the United way. Mark, can I come on, says Neve. The worst is not slapping Klopp, says Indy Tagger. What do you think of Mata for Carrick and Rashford for Martial instead of the subs he made? Says Shankar. I think Mata should have played from the start in hindsight, even though he wasn't in my 11. I think just the way the game went, we didn't move the ball quickly, and Mata can do that. George Cole says give Liverpool no respect. And best Pogba flooring Hendo, worst Jose not flooring Klopp, says JH. Okay, let's have another go on this Skype thing. We've had problems tonight. We are doing another one on Wednesday night, so if you haven't got on tonight and we still have the problem when we're live, I mean, this is live, you know. Bottom line is we're live, and that's what the United Stand is, and that's why I love doing the United Stand. If we started doing pre-recorded stuff, I wouldn't do the United Stand. I find it very, very boring, but I love the live interaction. I think we're going to struggle. One thing I would say is when I've taken a Skype call, don't keep Skyping. I think that might be a problem as well. If you keep Skyping, I'm bombarding my Skype, which is obviously causing a lot of issue for the technology I use. So as soon as I take a call, don't keep Skyping, because I'm not going to answer the call, and you'll know when I stop Skyping, then start Skyping again. That might help us a little bit. We'll see. Right, Sean, let's see what happens with this. If I lag straight away, we've got a problem. Sean, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, might need to talk up a little bit because it's a little bit quiet. What was it you wanted to say, pal?
That I still am really annoyed, and it feels like Liverpool still feels like a loss, in my opinion.
Yeah, I did say that in my preview. That I felt that you know, whatever the situation, even if it was a 4-4 thriller, which it clearly wasn't, it was going to be disappointing to draw the game. What do you? Where do you level the blame for that yesterday? Do you think it's just one of them days, or do you think it was more than that?
I think it was just one of them days, but I don't want to dwell on it too much. I want to take more positives out of the game. Like, we can play different styles of football. We showed it at Anfield. We can defend. We can play very attacking football, and we can also play the long ball quite well. But I don't know if you saw, but Pogba apologised on Facebook for the poor game. And that takes a lot of guts, and I think this will develop him as a player, because obviously he's not used to losing, but because he used to be at Juventus, but I think it'll develop him as a player.
It's encouraging that he's done that. I didn't know he'd done that, yeah.
Yeah, it'll make him a lot stronger.
Yes, I agree with you, and we must remember that he is only 23 years of age.
Yeah, and plus people go on about him being a flop and terrible, but he's played well in the last 10, 15 games. Really came into the game, and nobody talks about Kevin De Bruyne not scoring since September.
It's because he plays for a small club with no history. I mean, you know, City got absolutely battered yesterday. Nobody's even talking about it. If United had got beaten 4-0 at Everton, that would be the story till April. But that's the joy of supporting a big club, really. It's always big news. And let's not forget, it was a bad result for us yesterday, but we drew. And something I was thinking about before is, the reality is they're playing very well at the moment, but we still drew against Liverpool with Rojo and Jones as centre-backs, Fellaini in the team, Darmian at left-back, Rooney on the pitch. If we'd said that in November, you'd have thought we would have got turned over 5 or 6-0. So that, again, I think that just shows you what Jose Mourinho's done with what I think has still got a lot of deadwood in it. But one thing I've not brought in, and I'm going to talk about it more on tomorrow's show, we've still got 2 weeks of this transfer window left. Are we wasting it by not signing players?
Well, I was just going to talk about new signings that I think we should get, or maybe think about.
Okay.
But first of all, I was going to talk about how Mourinho has changed players like Phil Jones and Rojo. Darmian, even, although I don't like him, he's still improved a little bit. And he's just changed a lot of fringe players, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But the annoying thing is he's not playing Shaw or Smalling, who was arguably one of our best centre-backs last season, and Shaw, who was phenomenal until he broke his leg. So I think he should start putting them back in the team and putting trust into the more, just the better players, in my opinion.
So who would you be thinking about bringing in?
Luke Shaw, but I don't know if it's like the same as the Mkhitaryan kind of story where he's just trying to build up his confidence and fitness again.
I hope so.
But yeah, same. But if we don't bring in Shaw, then obviously we have Borthwick Jackson. But there's the Bayer Leverkusen left back who's very good, Brazilian, young. Wendell or Vendel, I don't know how to pronounce his name. I'm not very good at pronouncing names. But he's quite good. But Fosu Mensah can play there. I think to replace Carrick, which is still quite hard, there's a young Porto player and the Atletico Madrid centre mid, Saul. But we have Fosu Mensah, and people forget that Carrick can teach these young centre defensive mids like his style. And that's why I think Rojo and Jones have improved a lot, because obviously we have an out-and-out god in our team now, Zlatan, and he's probably improving them. So that's what I have to say. Just I hope we can push on in all of the competitions that we're still in.
Yeah, there's a lot to be positive about, Sean, and I think there's nothing wrong with being negative. And I get a little bit fed up about people saying, "Oh, we've had a great run. Everything's, stop being so negative." I actually think that the fans like Sean and like myself, who are still pretty disappointed by that, well, that's not being negative. That's actually being really passionate and disappointed that we haven't fulfilled our potential. And, it hurts. I'm still hurting that we didn't get the win that we should have got yesterday and didn't show up. So there's nothing wrong with that if you feel like that. And I think it's a very good call, Sean, and thanks for calling in.
But also, you plan these games and you think, well, if we beat Liverpool, then we'll be 2 points behind. Man City might be able to drop points again against Everton, and all these things add up. And when they don't add up, it's even more
I couldn't see us not winning that game. I don't know about you, but based on what we've been playing out the last few weeks, I just thought I couldn't see us not winning the game. We just didn't turn up. That was the disappointing thing.
Okay, thanks for having me on, Mark.
No worries, Sean. Thank you.
Hopefully we can go on another run.
I hope so. I think Stoke away, we'll talk about it later in the week, but I do think Stoke away will be tough, but hopefully we can, yeah. Thanks for calling.
See ya.
But, it's time to put it to bed. It's time to put the negativity to bed. And it isn't negativity anyway. It's just disappointment. It's disappointment that we gave a bad account of ourselves in a game where we wanted to win. And we would have been 2 points behind Liverpool. We would have been level with City. And now we're not. And we've got a very difficult game coming up on Saturday away to Stoke. And others have got win games. Chelsea have got Hull. Arsenal have got some bottlers as well at home. Liverpool have got Swansea. That's 3 points for them. So we've got to go to Stoke and win. And I'm sure there'll be a reaction. And I think we will win that game. But it's certainly not a definite that we'll do that. Apologies about Skype tonight. As soon as I took another call, it started to lag again. I'm just going to put it down to internet connection, and maybe there's not a lot of bandwidth at the moment. Neighbours on porn or something, I don't know. But I just want to tell you, tomorrow night at 8:30, it is. I want to talk transfers really, because we've not really touched on it tonight. It was something I wanted to touch on it, but I thought let's see how the show goes. And thankfully, we never needed to, because it's going to be a big part of tomorrow. And what I want you to think about for the next 24 hours, or if you're not watching it live, think about it for tomorrow's show at 8:30, and come at it, because it's going to be the live comments tomorrow massively. Come at it with players you think we should be signing in this January transfer window, if you think we should be, why you should be thinking that we're signing them, and what's coming in the summer. Because I'll tell you what camp I'm in. Not that camp. If you're thinking that, the camp I'm in is this. I'm not 100% sure that we will sign anybody, but I think I'm hoping we will, because I think this is I don't agree with the January transfer window. I think it needs to be scrapped, and you should just be able to sign players any time of the season. That's what should happen. But nobody's signing anyone in the January transfer window, but there are players available, and Manchester United have got the money. So I think it's a waste. I think the positive about Manchester United at the moment is that we are in all the tournaments, and we are still technically in a shout for the league, and certainly in a fight for the top 4. The squad has got areas of weaknesses. I still think centre back, because we are crap at crosses. Well, I am at that point now. If you watch the watch along, we get a corner and I just say give it a goal kick. And I know I've said that a few times now, but I really am. We are abysmal at them. We need Vidic. We need that sort of player, and there are players out there. So that's one player I would have prioritised months ago, because I would have seen we're rubbish at corners. I don't care how good Jones and Rojo and Smalling and Bailly are. None of them are dominant in the air in the penalty box. And unfortunately, it's got to be one of them and somebody who is, because in the modern day we are missing a trick that every corner we take we are not taking advantage of. I'm not saying we should score every corner, because that's very difficult, but it baffles me that Jose Mourinho, especially with John Terry, has always been a manager that scores from corners, and at Manchester United it's a massive part of our game missing. So that's one area. I think the left back area is interesting. I think the midfield area is interesting in relation to Carrick, and there are others as well. But I also want to talk about the summer, and I think what's going to happen in the summer is we're going to make some good signings. Griezmann and Saul Niguez I wouldn't be surprised about. But have a think over the next 24 hours, because there tends to be a little slip off of United fans at the moment who are, we don't need to sign anybody. We don't need to sign anybody. And I think actually, when you think about it, we've been on a fantastic run, and Mourinho deserves a hell of a lot of credit for turning this team into what it is, because I still think it's got a lot of deadwood in there and a lot of players that aren't good enough. And let's not forget, I'm a big Ander Herrera fan, but I did say when we're a title winning side and when we're challenging for things in the Champions League, I'm not sure Ander Herrera gets in your first 11. He's a fantastic player, but is he a first 11 player in a team that was going to win a Champions League? I think he's probably a bench player, but I've got nothing wrong with bench players. They still play 30 or 40 games a season. I think that's what Daley Blind is. I think that's what Juan Mata is. So I still think that even the players you've got doubts about, they probably are going to go out of the team. But there are players that you think, they're a first team player, that maybe they're not. Zlatan's not here forever. Has Anthony Martial got a future in the first team? There's all sorts to think about, and we'll be talking about that tomorrow night. But personally, what does SFS stand for? Because AWS, who's just about to get a timeout, has been saying it a lot. And SFS, Mark, what does that mean? Am I stupid? SFS. I'm gonna Google it, and if it's anything rude, spam for spam, speech filling system. I don't know what it means. I'm not down with the kids. Somebody will tell me that. But Manalas is the answer, as Peter Doyle says. But yeah, I think we're wasting this transfer window, because I think there are glaring issues in the Manchester United team that need to be resolved, and a centre back is definitely one. I don't know, William Gallagher. I don't know what it means. Should we have? But and also, let me just tell you about this. SFS is Ryan Haddock on Skype. All right, Skype's been turned off, as you can tell, because I'm not getting any lag at the moment. But Sporting Filming Stand, yeah. Skype in Sporting Filming Stand, and I hope that is your Skype name, because I'll pick it up. But on Wednesday, we are going to. I've made myself look an idiot there with SFS, haven't I? I'm like looking on Google. What is it? I think it's like when people swear with mnemonics, and I never know what they are, so it doesn't work. WTF, I know what that means. And I also know. I figured I was told this before Christmas, and I'm not a young pup anymore, and I don't get down with the kids. I mean, in fact, the other day people were asking why isn't Zlatan in the first 11 on the watch along, and I was going, Zlatan's sick, and people were going, I know he is, but why isn't he in the starting 11? Because sick apparently means good, but no, he actually was sick. But I didn't know. I was actually out at a Christmas do with people, and not on me, that'd be weird. And somebody said, what are you going to do tomorrow? And I said, everyone's at school and work, so I'd probably just Netflix and chill. Because I'd heard that saying, and I thought it meant watching Netflix, catching up with Netflix, having a bit of a hangover, chill out. And everyone's mouths dropped, because Netflix and chill actually means sex. Taking someone back for sex, apparently. So there you go. But Skype Goldbridge will be back on Wednesday night. We'll do another one. I was thinking about doing one, and the way it's gone the last half an hour, we've had problems. So I can't answer Skype calls at the moment, Neve, because Skype's not even open. But I will get Sporting Filming Stand on Wednesday at 8:30. I think we should make SFS stand for something, and it can be a United stand mnemonic for something like suck fucking. No, we don't want to suck fucking Scousers. We'll think of something and it can become our United stand secret code for something. Air Disaster had a kit, but I've missed something. I applied for Chelsea tickets. What's the chance of getting them? Says Isidore Door. I mean, that's something that popped into my head today. What if, towards the end of the season, we are in a battle for top 4, we can't win the league, Liverpool and Chelsea are level on points, we're playing Chelsea at home, beating Chelsea sort of puts Liverpool in the pole position for the title. I wouldn't want that to happen. I'd rather give Chelsea the points. I've said it the other day. My first priority, and Sir Alex Ferguson said this, first priority every season is for Manchester United to win the title. Second priority is to make sure Liverpool don't win the title. I would give Chelsea 3 points to stop Liverpool winning the title every day of the week, and I don't feel guilty about it. My concern is that Mourinho's got such hate for Chelsea, he ain't going to give them 3 points, but by doing that, he might give Liverpool the title. And I've always said, I'm totally behind Jose Mourinho, and I don't want him out. But I have said in the past, if Liverpool win the title on your watch, he should be sacked. They won't win the league. Sub Fellaini sub, says Man United fan. I quite like that one. But yeah, very quickly, just want to say as well, this is totally my fault because we did it before Christmas, and I thought it was just a 2-week promotion by William Hill. I've been told today via email it isn't, and a lot of you emailed me over Christmas because you've got your United tops. It's still up and running, so I've put it in the video description for you. Unfortunately, you've got to be UK based and you've got to be over 18 because it is with William Hill. However, you could get your mum or dad to do it for you. Get yourself a free Manchester United retro shirt. It's the second link in the video description, the second paragraph, and it just says get yourself a free United shirt from William Hill here, and click the link. And it's a link, it's a William Hill and United stand promotion. You just sign up with William Hill as a new customer. You've got to be in the UK over 18. I think you've got to put a £10 bet down or something like that. Put it down on one of our £10 to £100 challenges, so you'll win something with it. But as part of that, they'll send you a United retro shirt of your choice. They've got the 99 one, they've got an away one from 96, and there's a couple of others. But get yourself a free United shirt. It's a good promotion, and I'll apologise that we've not been doing it for the last few weeks because I thought it was just a couple of weeks. They said today, why aren't you doing it anymore? We've still got some to give away, so get on it, get yourself a free United shirt. But it's in the link description there. Yeah, we do try and do those sort of things for you. It's not about just signing up with a betting company. It's actually getting something back. Thanks everyone for watching. We've been on for over an hour. I'm struggling. I'm hoping I'm not going to come down with something because that will jeopardise the United Stand schedule this week. I feel like I'm getting something, but hopefully I'll be all right. I'm going to go and have some Lemsip and Netflix and chill. Not that one. But thanks everyone for watching. I enjoyed that. Please do drop a like on the video because everyone who Skypes in, it takes a lot. It takes a lot to do that. And this is your show, so like it and subscribe to the channel. Let's have a quick look at how we're doing for that. 63,671. Be nice to get to 64,000, wouldn't it? Or can I just say as well to you lot as well? It's important that the United Stand grows. It's doing really, really well. Tell your mates, tell your United fans about the United Stand and get them involved because that's how we grow organically. We don't advertise or anything like that. So please do get involved. Keep getting involved. Keep watching the videos. I'm thinking of stopping doing the transfer show in the morning because it's not really getting the views and I think people are a bit bored of it. But do watch, do like, do subscribe and do spread the word because we don't grow without you lot, and hopefully you feel that it is your channel because it is. Thanks for watching. Robbie's doing a little bit better. Took him out this afternoon, so hopefully we'll have a United ramble on. We won't do it Saturday morning because that's match day. We'll probably do it on Sunday morning. United ramble. Hopefully Robbie will be back. But thanks for watching. Brilliant. And for all those people who are saying that Van Hal has officially retired today, I thought he did that the day he took over United. But